Okay, so the next thing that we are going to discuss is the conditional probability. So what is a conditional probability? It is the probability that event B occurs after event A has already been occurred. Okay, kung halimbawa, anong mangyayari kapag itong mangyayari na una? So there are two events. Para siyang, ito na yung parang elaboration ng dependent variable or dependent probability or dependent events natin. Probability of dependent events. Okay, so conditional probability. What is the condition of our second event if our first event is this way? Okay, parang ganon. So we have here the formula. You read this as the probability of B given A, or the probability of event B after event A has happened. Okay, so it is equal to the probability of A and B. So familiar, this is for our the multiplication of probability over the probability of A. Okay, so we will have our first example. A box contains black chips and white chips. A person selects two chips without replacement. So without replacement means dependent siya. Okay, so if the probability of selecting a black chip and a white chip is 15 over 56, and the probability of selecting a black chip on the first draw is 3 over 8, find the probability of selecting white chip on the second draw given that the first chip selected was a black chip. Okay, so let us illustrate that. Okay, so here we are going to illustrate. Oh, sorry, sandali, at ayusin ko yung aking papel. Ang aking papel. Bakit ba ayaw mo? Ayaw niya. Sige na. At marami na akong oras na nasayang. Okay. So, ito tayo ngayon. Ayan. Hirap pala ng ganito. Sana COVID matapos ka na. Mas gusto ko nang mag face to face. Okay. So, we have two events here. The first event is selecting one chip, and then the other selecting another chip. Okay, so ang sabi niya, yung first daw na selection natin ay yung first probability natin ay probability na ang event natin ay selecting white chip. Okay, so ito yung first na probability natin, and then yung first event natin ay yung, sige na nga. Okay, ang first event natin ay selecting, okay, a white chip. O, diba ang galing ko? Kahit gumagamit na ako ng ballpen, parang gumagamit pa rin ako ng mouse. Okay, and then we have our second event. Okay, selecting, parang mali. Black pala ito. Ay nako, nalito na ako. Okay, basahin nga natin nila. Okay. Find the probability of selecting white chip on the second row. So, yung first pala natin ay black. Okay, and then yung second natin ay white. Ayan. So, this is the probability of selecting black. This is the probability of selecting white. So, yung first daw natin ay black, yung second natin ay white. Ngayon, it is given that the probability of selecting a black and white. Black and white. So, ibig sabihin, the probability of B and W is equal to 15 over 56. Okay? And it is also given that the probability of selecting black chip, so the probability of selecting black is equal to 3 over 8. Ayan. Ay, sorry, hindi nyo nakita. Lagi kong nakakalimutan na i-focus na yung ating camera. Sorry, guys. Okay. Dahil parang bumibigay na ang ating cellphone holder. Paano ko ba ayusin ito? Ayan. Okay. So, ayan. So, the probability of selecting black and white is 15/56. And the the probability of selecting black is 3/8. At ang sabi natin kanina, what is the probability of selecting a white chip on the second row given that the first chip selected was black chip? Okay, so using the conditional, yung formula natin kanina is selecting, or the probability of selecting white given that the first is black. Ayan. So, yung ating formula na nandoon kanina sa slide natin, pwede nyong balikan. Okay, is black pala. Sorry. Selecting black, and white over the probability of selecting black. Ayan. Okay, so mapapansin ninyo, andun W/B and then B and W and then B. Okay, so yung nandoon ang nandyan. Ayan. So, if we are going to look at our given, ito, diba? B and W is equal to 15. 15/56 divided by the probability of getting black is 3/8. So, ito yung mga given natin. So, 3/8. So, that is equal to 15/56 times 8/3. So, we can cancel this. So, we have here 5 and then cancel this also. We have here 7. So, we have 5/7 probability of getting a white chip given that the first drawn chip is black. Okay? So, I hope you understand that example. Okay, let us proceed to our next example. Ayun siya. Ayan. So, a recent survey asked 107 or 100 Seventh-day Adventist members if they thought that women can be assigned as elders in the church. And below is the result of survey. So, this is not a real survey and the data are not real. Example lang ito. Okay? So, we have 50 male and 50 female. And among these 50 male, 32 said yes, 18 said no. And then among the 50 females, 8 said yes and 42 said no. So, overall, among the 100 participants or respondents, 40 only responded yes and 60 responded no. So, nanalo ang no. Okay? So, kung mapapansin ninyo, walang mga mangilan-ngilan. Meron yata, pero mangilan-ngilan lang yung mga elders na mga babae. Yun ay kung wala talagang pagpipilian sa Adventist Church na yan. Okay? So, we have here the question, the respondent answer, or find the probabilities. The respondent answered yes, given that the respondent was a female. Okay, so given na yung respondent natin ay female, ilan or ano yung probability na ang answer niya ay yes. Ayan, so for us to be able to analyze this problem, ilagay natin siya sa tree diagram. Okay, mag-tree diagram tayo. So, ito yung gender. Ito yung response. Okay? So, parang yung sa head and tail at saka sa box kanina. Tingnan natin kung ganito ngayon. Ina-analyze natin. So, the genders are male and female. Ayan. So, ang respond can be yes and no. And then yes and no. Ayan. Okay, so ilan ba yung male? Ano yung out? Sorry guys. Aray ko. Okay. Ilan ba yung male natin among our respondents? So ano yung probability ng male natin? Probability of male natin ay 50/100. Okay, and then the probability of our female is 50/100 also, or 1/2, 1/2, diba? Okay, and then sa yes naman, May dalawang probability ang yes. Okay? That is if among the male, or that is if the yes is among the female. Okay? So, pero kapag overall, the probability of yes, kapag overall, ilan yung nagsabi ng yes? That is 40 over 100. And yung nagsabi naman ng no, that is 60 over 100. Ayan. Okay, so sa yes natin, ay sa female tayo, kasi sabi niya, given that it was female, or the respondent was a female, ano yung probability daw na yes ang isasagot niya? So, dito tayo. So, kung i-analyze natin, given that is male, so magiging dalawa yung ano natin, F and Y. So, the probability that we will be looking at is the probability of F and kasi naunang pinili yung female, di ba? Naunang pinili yung female, so F and Y. Ayan, F and Y. So, yung yes natin kanina dun sa female, given that it is female, it is 8. Okay? 8 over what? 8 over 100. Ayan. Okay? Tama ba? 8 over 100 or 8 over 50? 8 over 50. Bakit 8 over 50? Kasi doon tayo sa female. Okay, ilan ba yung female? Di ba 50 lang? So, 8 sa kanila ang nagsabi ng yes. Kaya 8 over 50. So, we have here P of F and Y. So, end tayo dyan. Kaya, imumultiply natin ito at saka yun. Okay? So, para maano natin ito, i-reduce natin siya into 1/2. Okay? 1/2. So, 1 times 8 is 8 over 2 times 50 is 100. So, ang probability of female and yes natin ay 8 over 100. Now, ang hinahanap kasi natin, the respondent answered yes given that the respondent was a female. So, the probability of yes given that the respondent is female. Okay? So, that will be equal to the probability of F and Y over the probability of female. Ayan. So, kasi, ito yung nasa ano ba? Dito ko nang isulat. Ito yung formula ng conditional probability. The probability of B given A equals the probability of A and B over the probability of A. So, the probability that B will happen given A has already happened is equal to the probability of A and B over the probability of A. So, yung problem natin, the probability of giving a yes or getting a yes as a response given that the respondent is female. Ayan. So, we have the probability of F and Y over the probability of F. Okay, I hope that is clear. So, ang probability ng F and Y natin ay yun, 8 over 100 divided by, ang probability naman ng yes natin, ang probability ng yes natin ay female para. Ang probability ng female natin ay ayun, 50 over 100. So, that will become 8 over 100 multiplied by 100 over 50. So, we can cancel that now. And then, cancel also this. This will become 4 and this will become 25. So, that is 4 over 25. Therefore, the probability of accepting a yes response given that the respondent is female is 4 over 25. Okay? And then, the next problem, ang sabi ng next problem natin is, the respondent was a male given that the respondent answered no. Okay? So, titignan natin yan. So, ang sabi, the respondent is a male. okay, male, given that the respondent answered no. Ayan. So, kapag ilagay natin ito sa ating formula, ayun yung ating formula natin. Okay? So, magiging the probability of N and M over the probability of N. Ayan. Okay? So, tignan natin yung probability ng no and male. Sorry. So, yung no natin kanina dito ay, ilan yung nag-no sa kanila? 18. 18 ang nag-no sa kanila kasi 32 yung nag-yes. Okay, so 18 over 1 or 18 over 50. Okay, so ang probability natin na kapag N, M, okay, so di ba i-multiply natin ito at saka yon. So this is 18 over, kasi nakapaganon siya, so 18 over 18 ang nag-no, 18 ang nag-no sa 50 na male, so that is 18 over 50. And this is 1/2. Okay? So, ang P of N and M natin ay 1 times 18 is 18 over 2 times 50 is 100. Ayan. Okay? So, ang P of N and M natin ay 18 over 100. At meron na tayong ditong P of N, which is 60 over 100. Ayan. So, i-substitute na lang natin siya. So, magiging 18 over 100 divided by 60 over 100. Or, that is also equal to 18 over 100 multiplied by 100 over 60. So, cancel na natin yon. So, ang answer ay, cancel na natin ito then by 6. So, 3 over 10. Okay, I hope that is also clear. If you are a little bit confused again, you may go back to the start of this video. Okay? So, Next is the probabilities for at least. Okay? So, ito na yung sinasabi ko kanina na ma-appreciate ninyo yung compatibility events. Okay? Because when we are talking of large numbers of events, kapag medyo marami tayong events, you can actually use the operations for complementary events. Okay, and one of those applications of this complementary events is yung at least. Okay, probabilities for at least. Meron kasi yung mga sasabihin sa'yo, what is the probability of getting at least one correct answer in 20 multiple choice questions? Or meron din yung, what is the probability of getting at least a correct A answer among 50 multiple choice questions, mga ganon. So, at least one. Okay, at least. Kapag sinabing at least, ang kukunin mong halimbawa at least 2, among 10, at least 2. So, mula 2 hanggang 10 ang kukunin mong probability. And kapag magko-compute ka ng 10 up or 2 up to 10 na probability, parang ang hirap-hirap. Kaya gagamitin natin yung probability for at least para sa ganun mas hindi siya complicated. Okay? So for our first example, a game is played by drawing 4 cards from an ordinary deck and replacing each card after it is drawn. Find the probability that at least one ace is drawn. Kung at least one ace is drawn, ilang cards kaya yun? 4 yun na cards. At ilang sample space kaya yun? 52 sample spaces, di ba? So, ang dami-dami nun. Ibig sabihin, kukunin mo lahat yung yung mga, anong tawag dito? Probabilities niyan. Okay? So, gagamitin natin yung complementary event na, or probability ng complementary event para i-solve ito. Okay, so ito tayo. So, mas madaling, kasi sabi niya dyan, find the probability that at least one ace is drawn. So, ibig sabihin yan, apat yung ace natin. So, isa-solve mo yung probability na makukuha mo ay 2 ace or 1 ace. Yung probability na makukuha mo ay 2 ace or 2 aces, then 3 aces, and then 4 aces. Ayan, apat na probabilities. Pero kapag halimbawa yung P of losing ang kukunin natin versus the P of winning, mas madali siyang isolve. Okay, so let our event be at least one ace is drawn, and let our complementary event be none or no ace, no ace is drawn. Ayan. Okay, so 1 1 1 1 ang kukunin natin sa mga events natin. Okay? Bakit 1 1 1 1? Kasi nga no ace is drawn. Paano ko ba tanggalin natin? Halimbawa, 'di ba ace dapat ang makukuha natin sa card. Tanggalin natin lahat yung mga cards na ace, 'di ba? Yun yung complementary kasi dito at least one, so pwedeng isa, dalawa, tatlo, apat, lima, ay apat lang pala. Okay? Pero kapag sinabing no ace, parang talo ka na kasi dito. Okay? So tanggalin natin yung apat na ace sa card para sa ganon, ito yung winning kasi natin. Ito naman yung losing natin. Losing. Spelling ng losing. Ayan. Losing. Okay, ito yung winning natin, ito yung losing natin. Sa winning, ang dami-dami. Wherein, sa losing, tanggalin mo lang yung apat na ace. Yun na yung loss mo. Okay, yun na yung loss mo. Ibig sabihin, kapag ito, probability, so, apat na ace, apat na draw mo siya. Okay, apat na draw. Kapag tinanggal mo lahat yung aces mo, ilan ang matitira sa cards mo? 48, di ba? Okay, 48 over 52 times 48 over 52 times 48 over 52 times 48 over 52. Ayan. So, ito yung probability of losing mo. Okay? And so, this is equal to 20,736 over 28,561, which is also equal to wala pala, hindi siya pwedeng i-reduce. Okay, so 20,000 divided by 20,000, i-divide natin siya. Okay, para mas maano mamaya. Okay, so 20,000 asa na siya? 736 divided by 28,561, okay, is 0.72602. Okay? Yung rule pala ng yung rule pala ng stating probability kapag decimal, okay, at least 2 decimals. Okay, at least 2 decimals na hindi siya non-zero. Okay, so i-round off natin ito, magiging 0.73. So ito yung complementary mo. Okay, pero hindi ito yung event mo. Okay, so ito yung complementary mo, ito yung losing mo. Okay, so paano mo makukuha yung winning mo? So ang winning mo will be equal to 1 minus the probability of your complementary event, di ba? Okay, so 1 minus 0.73 which is equal to 0.27. Ayan. So, dito medyo madali pa siya kasi 4 lang yung kung kukunin natin yung event, 4 lang. Pero, mas mahaba pa rin yung kanyang computation kumpara kapag ganito ang ginawa natin. Okay? So, again, i-explain ko lang. So, at least 1 ace. So, ito ay kukunin mo yung probability of 1 ace, probability of 2 aces, okay, probability of 3 aces, so ang dami, and then probability of 4 aces. Ayan, ang mga kukunin mo. Wherein, kapag tinanggal mo lahat yung ace mo, ibig sabihin, wala ka ng ace na makukuha. Okay? So, doon sa complementary mo, 48 yung pagpipilian mo kasi tinanggal mo yung mga aces niya over 52. I-include mo pa rin dito yung ace mo ha kasi sample space mo siya. And then 48 pa rin over 52. And then 48 over 52 kasi tinatanggal mo yung ace mo. So, with repetition ito or with replacement. Okay, and then 48 over 52. So, pag mumultiplyin mo lang yan, and then ito yung losing mo, ito yung complementary mo, and then isusubtract mo na lang siya mula sa 1. Okay, so ito yung probability of getting at least 1 ace. Okay, next we have our example number 2. Ang example number 2 naman natin, a coin is tossed 5 times. 5 times mo daw na itotoss yung coin. Find the probability of getting at least 1. So, kapag inano natin yung coin, head, tail, head, tail, head, tail, head, tail, and then head, 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 and then head, 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 tail, and then head, 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 tail, tail, or tail, head, and then head, ang dami, di ba? Okay, wherein, if you're going to use the probability of at least, mas madali siyang i-compute. So, paano siya? So, probability of our event is getting at least 1 tail. Okay? Wherein, our probability of complementary event is no tail. Ayan. Okay. So, kapag no tail siya, ibig sabihin, 1/2 raised to the 5th. Bakit 1/2 raised to the 5th? Kasi all heads. Okay, all heads. Okay. Ito, no tail, ibig sabihin, this is all heads. So, yan yung kukunin natin. Eh, ano ba yung probability ng head? Diba, 1/2? Okay, so 1/2. So, tigwa 1/2 nila. Na-imagine niyo yung 3 diagram natin. So, head dun sa first toss, second toss, third toss, fourth toss, 5 toss. Sabi kasi doon, at least 1 tail. Ibig sabihin kapag at least 1 tail, so 1 tail, and then 2 tail, and then 3 tails, 4 tails, and then 5 tails. Ibig sabihin, kukunin mo lahat yung number na yon. So, gagawa ka ngayon ng 3 diagram para makuha mo lahat yung possible outcomes. Wherein, kapag no tail siya, so, ibig sabihin kapag no tail, head, 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 lahat yan. Eh, kung at least 1 tail, edi kukunin mo yung, kapag halimbawa ito ay tail, so 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, or 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, plus 1/2, and then 1/2 plus 1. Ay, nako, ang hirap. Okay? And then, pagplaplasin mo pa. Okay, so ito na lang tayo. At least 1 tail, ibig sabihin, yung ating complementary ay no tail, which is head, head, head. Syempre, kapag at least 1 tail yung ating kwan, yun nga, may isa, o kaya dalawa, o kaya tatlo, o kaya lahat sila. Ayan, so, ang probability nito ay 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2. And so, imumultiply mo yan lahat. 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. That is 1/2 raised to the second power, ay 5th power pala. Okay, so 1 raised to the 5th power is 1 over 2 raised to the 5th power is 32. So, ito yung puro heads. Ito yung puro heads. Ito yung hindi kasali doon sa event mo. Okay? Ngayon, yung event mo ay 1 minus yung complementary event, which is equal to 1 minus 1 over 32, which is equal to 31 over 32. Ayan. So, I hope that is clear. Okay? So, that is the rule of at least. So, i-analyze mo lang siya kung ano yung kanyang complementary. Okay? Dito kanina, no A's. Ibig sabihin, tanggalin mo yung mga A's. Dito kanina, tanggalin mo yung tail. Kaya head, head, head silang lahat. Dito naman, walang A's. Kaya 48, 48, 48. Kasi natanggal yung 4. Okay? So, counting rules naman tayo ngayon. So, many times, a person must know the number of all possible outcomes. Katulad dito, dapat alam natin yung number ng possible outcomes. Okay, so, to know that, you may do the tree diagram. Pero oftentimes, kapag ang dami-dami na ng options natin, or given natin, then doing the or making the tree diagram is next to impossible. Okay, that is why we have this counting rules. Okay, so to determine this number or this possible outcomes, 3 rules can be used. The first one is the fundamental counting principle. The next is the permutation rule, and the third is the combination rule. So I am going to discuss this one after the other. So, let's start with the fundamental counting principle. So, in a sequence of n events, kapag meron tayong n number ng events, 10 man yan, 5 man yan, okay, 20 man yan, in which one has k sub 1 possibilities and the second has k sub 2 and the third has k sub 3, is yung possibilities na sinasabi dito ay yung outcomes. Okay, and so forth. The total number of possibilities or outcomes of the sequence will be k sub 1 times k sub 2 times. So you are just going to multiply the number of possibilities or number of outcomes in that event. Okay, and so this is our first example. A paint manufacturer wishes to manufacture several different paints, and these are the categories included. Okay, so color, type, texture, and use. So we have 4 events. Okay, 4 events. Now, in these 4 events, there are different numbers of possibilities or outcome. So yung color daw, merong red, blue, white, black, green, brown, and yellow. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then for type, we have latex and oil. For texture, we have flat, semi-gloss, and high. That is 3. And for use, outdoor and indoor. Excuse me. So the question is, how many different kinds of paint can be made if you can select 1 color, 1 type, 1 texture, and 1 use? Sige nga, igawan nyo nga yan ng tree diagram at tapos bilangin ninyo lahat. Di ba ang hirap? Okay, so ang shortcut niyan, ang sabi niya ay k sub 1 possibility or outcome ng first event, outcome ng times the outcome of the second event times the outcome of the third times the ayan. So we have now here the different kinds of paint. So ito na yung combinations natin. Okay, combinations, or ito na yung samples, number of sample space natin. Sorry, number of sample space. So, number of sample space natin, i-multiply lang daw natin yung number ng color multiplied by number of type multiplied by the number of the outcome of texture multiplied by the number of outcome of use. Ayan. Bakit? Use. And then, we have the number for color. Ilang color yun? 7. Times, ilang texture, or ilang type yun? Ilang type? Type and texture. Ilang type? 2. Times, ilang texture? 3. And then, use ay dalawa din. Okay, so if you're going to multiply that all, we have 7 times 2 times 3 times 2 equals 84. O, ilista mo nga yung 84 sa tree diagram. O, diba? Hindi carry. So, yan ang ibig sabihin ng fundamental counting principle. So, maaari mong makita yung number of possible outcomes kapag ginamit mo yung fundamental counting principle by just multiplying the possible outcomes for each event. Okay? Next. The manager, ayan. Oops, sana hindi na naman. Baka matanggal na naman, Lord. Okay, the manager of a department store chain wishes to make a 4-digit identification cards for her employees. How many different cards can be made if she uses the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and repetitions are permitted? And how about if repetitions are not permitted? Okay, eto na. So, 4 daw na numbers sa identification cards. Okay? 4 na numbers sa identification cards na merong numbers na 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So, isulat nga natin yung mga numbers na choices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Ayan. Kung repetition is allowed or permitted. Okay. So, ilang numbers ang pagpipiliin mo? Diba? Ito yung first digit. We have the second digit, the third digit, fourth digit, hanggang fourth lang pala kasi 4 na digits yon. Okay? So, first, second, third, and fourth. So, ilan yung kapag ito ay repetition allowed, ilan yung pagpipilian mo doon sa first? Pwede ang 5 or 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ilang numbers yan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, isulat natin 6. Repetition allowed. Pwedeng, halimbawa dito, ang pinili mo ay 1. So, 6 yung pagpipiliin mo, pero dito, pinili mo ay 1. Okay? Sa second, pwede mo pa rin ulitin yung 1. Okay? So, ilan pa rin ang pagpipilian mo? 6 pa rin. Pinili mo ulit yung 1. And then, sa third, ibinalik mo ulit yung 1 kasi pwede nga repetition yan. Pero ngayon, pinili mo yung 3. So, 6 pa rin yung pagpipilian mo. So, 3. And then, sa fourth, 6 pa rin yung pagpipilian mo kasi repetition is allowed. So, ang pinili mo ulit ay 3 pa rin. 6 pa rin ang pagpipilian mo. Okay? So, kapag ganyan, kapag repetition is allowed, pwede mong ulit-ulitin yan. At yung number ng sample space mo ay yun din yung number ng mga events mo. Okay? Or outcome sa events mo. So, 6 times 6 times 6 times 6, that is 6 times 6 times 6 times 6. That is 1,296. So, 1,296 na combinations ng numbers ang maaaring niyang gawin mula sa digits na 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Sige nga, gawin mo nga yan sa tree diagram. O, diba? Ang hirap. Pero ngayon, alam mo na, because of the fundamental counting principle. And then the next one, sabi niya, how about if the repetitions are not permitted? Okay? So, kapag repetitions are not permitted, diyan na pumapasok yung parang dependent events natin. Kasi ito parang independent siya, di ba? Kasi binabalik-balik mo siya. Replace, replace, replace. Okay, so dun sa repetition is not allowed naman. Repetition not permitted. Okay? So, sa first event mo, halimbawa, ilan ang pagpipilian mo? 6. Diba? 6. Ngayon, ang pinili mo ay halimbawa 1. Okay? Eh, hindi mo na pwedeng ulitin yung 1. So, ilan na lang yung natitirang pagpipilian mo? 5 na lang. So, times 5 doon sa second. So, ang pinili mo dyan ay 2. Okay? And then, sa pangatlong pagpili mo, repetition is not allowed. So, hindi na pwedeng maulit yung 1 and 2. So, ilan na lang pagpipilian mo? 4 na lang. Okay, halimbawa, ang pinili mo ay 3. Sa pang-apat na pagpili mo, tanggalin mo na yung 3 kasi nakuha mo na siya. So, ilan na lang pagpipilian mo? 3 na lang. Okay, so ang pinili mo halimbawa ay 4. Ayan, so ito yung identification card number. Okay, kasi repetition is not allowed. So, ilan yung combination ng numbers na pwede nating makuha? Okay, so that is 6 times 5 times 4 times 3. That is equal to 360. Dito na pumapasok yung factorial na tinatawag. Ano ba yung factorial na tinatawag? Okay, kapag sinabi nating factorial, ito ano ito? Ito yung rule wherein if you're going to write the outcomes of your events, okay, from a single or from the same sample space, magleles ka ng 1 mula sa number ng outcomes mo sa sample space. So, halimbawa ito, 6 dati, and then yung susunod na ay 5, yung susunod na ay 4, yung susunod na ay 3. Tignan natin kapag ganyan. Okay, so, kapag ito 6 factorial, ano ang lalabas? Okay, 720. Bakit 720? Kasi 6 times 5 times 3 times 2 times 1 equals ni apay. 6 factorial is 720. So 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 equals 720. Okay? Ibig sabihin kapag 6 factorial that is equal to 5 or 6 times 5 times 3, 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Okay? Kapag naman 10 factorial, that is equal to 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And that is equal to 10 factorial is equal to 3,628,800. Ayan. Ngayon, ilan yung pagpipilian mo kapag huweteng? Ay, mamaya na natin pag-usapan yan. Okay? Mamaya na. Okay. So, dito na papasok din yung iba pang mga counting principles natin. Okay? So, parang sa fundamental counting principle, parang mas ano lang siya, useful lang siya kapag non-repetition. Okay? Pero kapag repetition na, itong mga sumusunod na counting principles na ang gagamitin natin. So, yung mga counting principles natin para siyang nag-evolve lang. So, nagsimula siya sa simple and then pa-komplikado na siya. Okay? So, ang susunod ay ang permutation rule. Ano naman itong permutation rule? Okay, ang rule na ito ay ginagamit kapag merong arrangement ng objects. Okay? O kaya specific order. Yung mga objects na hinahanapan natin ng combination. Okay? So, the arrangement of n objects is a specific order or in a specific order using r objects at a time. So, it is written as n or n permutation of n. Paano na ito ulit? Apay na blanco akmot 10. Permutation of n taken r. Ayan. So, permutation of n taken r. So, ang formula nito is equal to n, yung number ng objects over n minus kung ilan yung kukunin mo sa objects na yon. Okay, ito na yung sinasabi ko kanina. So, example number 1. Suppose a business owner has 5 choices has a choice of 5 locations in which to establish her business. So may 5 na choices siyang pinagpipilian ng location. She decides to rank each location according to certain criteria such as price, parking facilities. So how many different ways can she rank the 5 locations? Okay, so I am going to show you again using my pen and okay, so 5 daw yung pinagpipilian niya. 5 yung pinagpipilian niya. Bakit hindi kasya? Ayaw niya talaga. Okay, battery is running low. Sandali lang guys. At aking